Hello there, my name is Michael Kikano, and I am the president of the Game Sound Club. Today I'll be recording a quick FMOD integration tutorial for Unity, because the video that was run during our one of our sessions got corrupted, so I'll just be recording it now. First off, we're going to start off with downloading things. You're going to want FMOD Studio, which you can find in the description. I will put it there. Just official FMOD website, go to download, make sure you make an account, and then you're going to want to go to FMOD Studio, make sure you click Unity Verified, and then download it for your computer. I already have it downloaded. It is right here. This is what, well, usually a pop-up shows up, but this is usually what it looks like. And then the second thing you're going to want to download is the actual Unity Asset Store asset for FMOD. So you just search it up on the Unity Asset Store and add it to your assets. Perfect. Now that that's out of the way, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually make a new project. So for your project, use whatever Unity version is compatible. I'm using 2022.3.11 F1, and I'm going to create a 3D project. I'm going to make it URP because I'm special and I love render pipelines. Just call it whatever you want. Demo. And then create your project. And while it's doing that, I'll show you guys how to create your project in FMOD. So you're going to want to go to File, you're going to want to go to New, and it makes you a new project. To be fair, that was already a project, but I'm showing you how anyway. Once you have this project, you save. You could Control S, save it somewhere. I'm just going to put it on my desktop for now, under FMOD projects, new folder, GSC demo. Let's just call it GSC demo. There we go. Now we have it there. And so you're going to want to put this away for now, but keep the actual application open. We're going to need that for when we implement it in Unity. This is taking a while. Okay, so now that we have the project open, which took like 5 trillion bajillion million years, we're just going to work with the sample scene that we have here. Your first thing that you want to do is go to Window, Package Manager, and we want to actually install the FMOD thing into here. So you go to My Assets, and then you search up FMOD. And if you've actually installed it, it should be there. I have an update for mine, so I'm just going to update it real quick. And I'm going to import. You might have to download it first before you import. Yep, looks good. Import. And what's beautiful is that FMOD now has a new setup wizard. So before, like a year ago, it never had this, and it was kind of a pain to actually get it implemented properly. But now we have this. Perfect. Welcome to FMOD. You click Start, reorganize plugin files. Oh, you're good. Usually I think this is for if you already have like a project, so it just makes it more organized. Update event references. That's also, you can scan. Everything's good. I think this is the same thing, yeah. Next. So now, this is where your FMOD project comes in. Make sure you have it open and make sure you already have that project that you created open. All you need to do is click FMOD Studio Project. And then you go and find your project. FMOD projects, GAC demo, this one. Perfect. Click next, listener, replace, disable built-in audio because it uses FMOD audio instead. This is fine. Source control, if we're using Git, make sure to put this in there so that it doesn't upload a bunch of junk. And you're good. Close. Perfect. You actually didn't have to have FMOD open. Oh, that's an Unreal Engine thing. That's what we third years are running. So I got that mixed up. But there you go. Perfect. And it's done. At least the implementation part. Next part, what I'm actually going to do is show you guys how to make your first sound effect. So in FMOD, once you have it open, there's 3 tabs over here: Events, Banks, and Assets. Assets are any assets you import, and like MP3 files, WAV files, all kinds of stuff. Your banks are the actual, like, it's a bank of all your events that get sent to Unity to load so that it can play sounds from them. Usually you would want to separate your banks into sections such as like gameplay songs, or like level 1 songs, level 1 sound effects, player 1 sound effects, player 2 sound effects, if you just push everything to master, and then Unity would have to load like all of your events before, even though you only need like 5 for that level or whatever. Usually I think you would want to, whatever's in one scene, you want to make that a bank. So only one scene has to load one bank. But for today, I'm just going to be using master because I am lazy. So first thing you want to do, new event. There's some event defaults you can make, like 2D action, 3D action, 2D timeline, 3D timeline. The difference between action and timeline are as follows. Action, it's just one instrument, it plays, that's it. It's an action. Your timeline, however, is an actual timeline, so you can add like logic that happens at a specific time of the clip that you're uploading. This one's usually perfect for music and things like that, where you have like adaptive audio, etc. Today, we're just going to use a 3D action because we're just going to have some sound effects for this. And you're going to want to add a multi-instrument. And now you're thinking, okay, but we don't have a sound. Now, if you want, you can make your own sound. That's probably a requirement for your game sound class if you're taking that. But for me, I am going to go to freesound.org. This is a website where you can get a bunch of free sounds. Just make sure to look at the licensing if you want to use it commercially, etc., etc., etc. We're just going to do footsteps. So under footsteps, let's see, what is this? Yeah, sure, let's do this. So I've already actually downloaded one of these sounds, and I have it here in somewhere on my computer, that's for sure. So, okay. I will do this later. So here, I took that audio, that big audio you get from that website. I should have so many tabs open. You get this whole audio, and then in Audacity or Audacium, whatever you use, you paste it in, and then you just copy paste these like little slits of audio that you want to use. So like this one that I have, or this one, etc. And then you put effects on them as you want. Not many effects that I would recommend other than like changing the amplitude as however you want to make it sound more variant, and maybe some fades and stuff like that. EQs and stuff you can do in FMOD, so there's that. Oh, and maybe noise removal would be a good one if you're doing it from scratch. But yeah, once you have that, you want to file, export. I'm actually going to Control A just in case. Export, export multiple, and then you export these to where you want. So I'm going to export them just into my downloads, WAV file, footsteps, export, okay. And then it's going to export them all. There we go, now I have 4. So now, if we go back to FMOD, what we can do is if I grab my audio files from my computer, I could just drag them right into this multi-instrument, and boom, they're in there. And as you can see, they get added to your assets right away too. Now before we continue, you might notice that it says hashtag unassigned. This means that your event isn't actually assigned to a bank, so it's never going to load. Assign to bank, browse, and then you click whichever bank you want to assign it to, that being like Footsteps or something like that. Now I'm just going to put it to master. And then here, the beauty of a multi-instrument for Footsteps is it automatically shuffles between all the clips that you put it in. This can be used for a lot of things, but mainly Footsteps. So you can choose between shuffle, randomize, etc. Randomize makes it true random. Shuffle makes it so it doesn't repeat itself until it goes to the next loop. And here you can make it loop however many times you want. So if I click play, you can see that it loops. And it chooses different each time, so it sounds like someone's walking. So when we first clicked to add an event, we clicked 3D action, one of the defaults, and that gave us a spatializer. This spatializer makes it so you can hear in 3D. And over here, this is where you can actually hear it. So if I move my audio source over there, you can hear from right ear, left ear, up, forward, back, and then just double click it to reset. You can also do it from the front, so up, down, left, and right. But yeah. Here in the spatializer, you can change your attenuation, so min max distance between where it starts this like roll off for how far you are. Like that. I'm going to leave it at like 50, like 50. It's going to be near us all the time anyway. Technically you don't need to make this 3D action, but I'm doing it anyway, just to show the functionality of it. And you can also edit the sound size, which say if your audio source is over there, you can see on the right that it like increases the actual size of the sound. And then the extent, not too sure what this does, but it increases white line and white line becomes bigger. So that's definitely useful. So play around with these settings however you want until it becomes like what you want. And so once you have that done, also I realized I didn't name this, foolish Footsteps. All you want to do is click F7, which builds your bank to Unity. And so if I go back to Unity, the next thing you're going to want to do for Footsteps, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm too lazy to make a whole layer controller, but if you want to make one, if you already have one, then go ahead and use it. But for me, I'm just going to use the modular first-person controller, really useful thing. Perfect. So I'm just going to go to my modular first person and drag in the prefab. Got this here. I'm going to make a quick, just some kind of cube. Let me increase the size to like 100 by 100. Oh, by 1 by 100. So now if we go to the first person controller and click play, we'll see that doesn't work. Okay, cool. Need to delete the main camera too. So, got a first person controller, walking around, awesome. No sound yet. what you want to do, go to your first-person controller, or sorry, don't go to your first-person controller. You're going to make a new empty object, call it Audio Manager, and this is where our audio is going to go. So for this, we're going to want to make a script, call it Audio Manager, and this is where all our audio stuff is going to go. Open in Visual Studio. So now that I have it open, first thing you want to do, get rid of start. Don't really need that right now. And you're going to want to make some variables. So we're going to have a serialized field. And to actually call your, or to drag in your actual events, right? You're going to want to do event reference. And we're just going to call it footstep event. Next, we're going to want a rate. No, we don't want that. We want a rate. So our rate's going to be just a float, and this is like the rate at which you'll hear the footstep happen. Next, we're going to want to have a serialized field of a game object, and that's going to be our player. So we're going to be attaching the actual footsteps to the player. And last but not least, we're going to want to get access to our actual first-person controller. We'll just call it control. So next, what we're going to be doing is creating a function that basically just plays our footstep for us. We call it actually, we're going to call it play footstep. And we're going to do runtime manager dot play one shot attached footstep event player. And then in update, you're going to want to do, oh, I also forgot, we want a private float of time, because we want to be keeping track of time for the rate to actually work. So time plus equals to time dot delta time. Ooh, I did that wrong. Time dot delta time. So this just increases time by 1 second and adds it to itself, making just regular seconds. And so originally what you would do is you would do if, and then in your controller class you would have a is walking variable, and in this is walking variable would be true when you're walking and false when you're not walking. Pretty easy. And for the actual rate, if the time is greater than or equal to the rate, you want to play the footstep sound, and time is just equal to 0. So, of course, this doesn't actually work right now because the this script doesn't actually have its is walking variable set to public. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to do this. And then now it should be working. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So it'll load and this error is going to go away. Perfect. So now we're just going to want to drag this onto here and set all our stuff. So here we're going to want to go to events and then footsteps. Perfect. The rate is going to be, what do I have the rate as here? 0.75. Our player is going to be the first person controller, and the controller is going to be the same thing. So now we're going to actually move this audio manager. It should just be at 000. So now when we click play, Not moving, no audio. Moving, audio. So you might notice we have a small issue. As we move away, it seems to get quiet, which means it's actually attached to the thing all the way down there instead of the actual player. So to fix that, you're going to want to make sure, well, it should be moving. Hold on. Ah, here's the issue. It says right here, you have to, because we switched the actual camera, if we go back to our setup wizard, you'll see that the listeners are actually not working. So now that we've replaced that, we have that done. And now it should work as intended. Yep. Now we hear it at full volume where the player is standing while we're moving, and once we stop moving, we don't hear it anymore. Perfect. That's footsteps done. Basic footsteps. Now I'm just going to quickly show you guys how to add basic music. So if we go back to FMOD Studio, we're going to want to create a 2D timeline. So we're going to make it 2D because, oh shit. We're going to make it 2D because, well, it's just music in the background. You don't really need it to be playing at all times, right? And for this, I'm just going to drag in an audio clip that I'm going to grab from one of the songs I've made before. Desktop music. Ooh, lovely. So much unfinished stuff. So let's just do this one. Oh, I hope it's not loud. Okay, that was really loud. I apologize. So just drag it in there. There you go. Crop it down so it makes sense. And you can hold Alt and mouse scroll to zoom in and stuff. For the actual effects, I'm just gonna make the volume a bit lower because it's a pretty loud song. Perfect. And that's basically it. You just assign it to the whatever bank you choose. And then you remember to just click F7 or Control F7. It builds its thing. Go back to Unity. It has this appear sometimes. So it just refreshes it automatically. And now we can add our thing, our theme to our code. So what you want to do is go back to Audio Manager, right? And it's literally just you duplicate this, you call it your, like, I don't know, PG theme, and then you make another thing called play BG theme, plays the BG theme. That's perfect. And we can just literally add this to start. And that's it. Actually, we don't need to do play one shot attached because it has no 3D stuff. You just play one shot BG theme and it plays it by itself. Once it loads, you'll hear it. So do it here, theme, perfect. Click play, and it should just start playing right away. And if I start walking, you can hear the footsteps. Just like jumping and stuff. And that's basically it. That's it for the FMOD implementation and just quick background theme and footsteps. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this as well. And so the last thing I want to show you guys, just something cool, is over here. This is my third year Unreal Engine game project, and one of the cool things that you could do with FMOD is adaptive music. So a lot of weird shit here, but basically what it's doing is there's some parameters here, and when they get set to different values, it transitions to different parts of the song on beat. So say, oh, that might be really loud. So currently progression is 0 and intensity 0, and it's just looping through this. And if I set this to exactly 1, it goes to the progression. So these first three are just progression 0, 1, 2, and intensity is the other side. So if I set intensity to 1, very cool. So you could do things like that. I'll link a few really good tutorial videos in the description for things like adaptive music, horizontal, vertical, etc., and learning about all that, so you can use it in your game. But anyway, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this helped. Bye-bye.